Imagine finding a creature with magical powers, like magic. But now, some dangerous people are after you. Something similar happens to Eliza, who is currently cooking dinner for her neighbor, Gil. Because Eliza can't speak, she doesn't have many friends, and Gil is one of her friends who can understand Elisa's sign language. After spending some time at Gil's, Eliza caught the bus and left for work. Upon arriving at work, Eliza met Zelda, her best friend. Together, they began cleaning all the lab rooms that night. That same day, Mr. Fleming, the head of security, announced to the entire team that a new specimen would be arriving at T4K, and that this specimen was the most precious item ever to arrive at the lab. Seeing a water cylinder arrive, Eliza became curious and wanted to see what was inside. She went to find out. The creature inside the cylinder started squirming to get out. That's when the team quickly moved the cylinder to the compressor. When morning came, Eliza arrived home. Gil stood outside, waiting for Eliza so they could go to the bakery for breakfast together. Elisa's daily life was much the same, except for the occasional surprise at work. One day, while she was cleaning with Zelda, they heard a gunshot and Strickland emerged from a lab. She saw Strickland's hands covered in blood. She retreated, and medical personnel came to help. Moments later, while they were in the canteen, Mr. Fleming arrived and took Eliza and Zelda into the lab. There, they saw blood all over the floor. They couldn't understand what had happened. While cleaning, Eliza found a man's fingers lying on the floor and put them in a paper envelope. Zelda, frightened, went out to seek help. Elisa, alone in the lab, went to the cylinder and saw that the creature trapped inside was injured. In the morning, Eliza went to Gil's house and had breakfast there while watching TV. After drinking coffee, Gil picked up his special new painting and left the house. As he left, he said that if it sold, he would bring her a wonderful gift. The next night, when Eliza arrived at work, she sneaked into the lab where the strange creature was kept. She saw that it was now kept chained inside a tank. Elisa sat near the tank and offered it a boiled egg to eat. The creature didn't trust humans, so it tried to scare Eliza away. When Eliza backed away, it picked up the food and dove into the tank. A short while later, Strickland called Eliza and Zelda to his cabin to thank them for finding his fingers. After 3 hours, his fingers had healed somewhat, and he didn't know if his hand would ever use again. Then Strickland noticed a claw mark on Elisa's neck. Zelda explained that it had been there since childhood. Strickland then got to the point. From today, Eliza and Zelda are responsible for cleaning the creature's room. They must leave as soon as they're done, as it's very dangerous. Strickland found the creature on the banks of a river in South America, and being brought so far from its home has made it very irritable and short-tempered. According to him, the Amazon tribes considered these creatures gods of nature. But to Strickland, they're just a strange species, nothing more than animals. Elisa decided to get closer to the creature. The next day, she sat near the pond, eating her sandwich and playing a song along with an egg. Gradually, the creature approached Eliza, and Eliza gained its trust. After a few weeks, they became good friends, and through sign language, Eliza explained to the creature how humans live. One day, while Eliza was cleaning, Dr. Robert was astonished by the creature's friendship with Eliza. Robert realized that the creature could communicate with humans. Robert immediately went to meet Mule Covey, the undercover Russian agent who lived in the United States, and reported everything going on there to the government. He said, "We must immediately capture this creature." When Eliza arrived at work, she sneaked into the lab. But there, she found her new friend badly injured. She tried to free the creature, but an egg dropped from her hand. Just then, she heard footsteps, and Eliza hid. Soon, Strickland arrived, armed with an electric shock weapon. He repeatedly tried to provoke the creature, and as soon as it became enraged, Strickland electrocuted it with his weapon. Elisa couldn't hear her friend's screams. As he attacked, Strickland saw an egg lying on the ground and realized someone was feeding it. Just then, General Thorothy arrived. astonished to see the creature the scientists had captured. Seeing all the blood in the lab, he asked what was going on. Strickland explained that he was trying to control the creature. Robert explained that the creature could breathe in two completely different ways, allowing it to survive both on land and in water. Therefore, according to science, it was a miracle, and it was their responsibility to keep it safe. When he saw that the creature was badly injured, he asked Strickland to take it back to the water, but Strickland wanted to open its body and see what was going on inside. Then the creature fainted, and Robert ordered his colleagues to put it back in the tank so that it could recover. Concerned for the creature's life, Robert told General Hoyte that it would not be right to kill it or open its body. But the general said, "I will do whatever I want." Understood? Considering the circumstances, Eliza followed the scientist to find out what was going to happen to her friend. Elisa realized that her friend's life was now in danger. After returning home, Eliza told Gil everything. She wanted to free the creature with Gil's help, but Gil, aware of the danger involved, refused to help her. He also told Eliza not to do it, saying, "Are you crazy? If you get caught, we'll put you in jail." But when Eliza still refused, Gil's heart melted at the sight of his friend grieving for an unknown creature, and he agreed to help. But deep down, he knew that this could cost him his life, along with Elisa's. After a day of unsuccessful attempts to sell his painting, Gil returned home and realized that the only thing that had remained in his life all these years was Elisa's friendship. Gil was now fully prepared to help Eliza, realizing he had nothing much to lose. Meanwhile, Robert, a Russian scientist, was investigating the lab. He told Muriel Covey about the general's decision, and she suggested that they must rescue the creature tonight. Muriel Covey said that it was very dangerous and that preparations for saving the creature would require at least a week. However, the dissection of the creature would be carried out the very next day. So the Russians planned to kill the creature by injecting it. They wanted to do this because if the U.S. Army used the creature for experiments, they might get hold of something extremely dangerous that would give the Americans an edge over the Russians. But Robert didn't care about all this. He wanted to save the creature. The next day, when they began to take the creature out, Eliza also began her work. Zelda became suspicious of Eliza Strickland, along with Zelda was also keeping an eye on Eliza Strickland using security cameras. Pretended to throw a glass to lure Eliza into his office. When Eliza arrived and Strickland spoke to her, Eliza felt something strange. Strickland was married, yet he was telling Eliza that he liked her. Alarmed, Eliza grabbed her things and ran away, as it was almost 5 o'clock. And Gil would soon arrive in the front room with his car, while Eliza was disrupting the security cameras. Robert came into Strickland's room and tried to persuade her not to do it that day. Robert noticed that the security cameras were being disrupted. Robert distracted Strickland so that the task could be completed properly. To understand what was going on, Robert went to the lab where the creature was kept. His suspicions were correct. Elisa was preparing to free the creature. Instead of calling security, Robert gave Eliza the keys so she could quickly escape with the creature through the service tunnel. When Zelda noticed that Eliza wasn't there at the end of work, she became worried and set up a presence for her friend so that no one would suspect Eliza. Eliza, with Robert's help, hid the creature under a pile of warm clothes, and Robert gave Eliza advice on water, hygiene, and feeding so she could properly care for the creature. Robert then used a device that knocked out the power to the entire building, telling Eliza she had only 10 minutes to escape. Just then, Strickland saw on the security cameras that an unknown vehicle was trying to enter. He quickly ran towards it. While Eliza was passing through the tunnel, Zelda arrived. Zelda understood what Eliza was trying to do. Zelda tried to stop her, but as soon as the power went out, Zelda quickly began to help her friend, as there was no way to go back. As soon as the security guard caught Gil, Robert injected him with a sedative. The scientist told Gil that Eliza was waiting for him at the jetty and that he should get her out as soon as possible. Gil froze in fear at the sight of the creature, but quickly realized it wasn't dangerous. He placed the creature in the car, and, as the car was about to leave, Strickland arrived and began firing at it. But Gil left before anyone was hurt. Seething with rage, he went back to the lab and found the creature missing. Moments later, Eliza, with Gil's help, placed the creature in the bathtub. Following Robert's advice, she added salt to the water to help the creature breathe. Meanwhile, as soon as the general learned of the creature's disappearance, he told Strickland to find it as soon as possible, or else you won't survive. That morning, Elisa went to see a river that runs through her town and flows directly into the ocean. She thought, I'll release it into the water on the 10th of this month, because the rainy season is about to begin, which will fill the river and make it easier for it to reach the sea. When Eliza arrived at work the next day, she saw a large team searching for the creature, and Zelda was very frightened. Later, they were called to Strickland's office for questioning, and both were quickly cleared of suspicion because they had already reported for duty before the incident. While Eliza was at work, Gil was keeping an eye on the creature and was also making a detailed sketch of it. As Gil fell asleep, the creature started wandering around the house and was frightened by the sight of the cat. When Gil woke up, he saw that the creature had eaten his cat. This enraged Gil, and he yelled at the creature, which frightened him into running away and even attacking Gil. When Eliza returned home and saw Gil in this state, she was terrified, but Gil said, I'm fine. It's more important to find the creature before it causes more trouble. Elisa ran to the movie theater below her house. Inside, she saw the creature intently watching the screen. She gently coaxed it back. Back there, Eliza taught the creature how to be very affectionate with Gil's cats, and also bandaged Gil. The creature apologized to Gil for his mistake. Gil said, I already forgive you, and then it was as if a miracle happened. The creature used its powers to heal all of Gil's wounds. All the lines on the creature's body began to glow, and Gil understood why the Amazon tribes consider it a god of nature. That very night, the creature invited Eliza into her bathtub. Elisa hesitated at first, but after thinking about it, she realized there was nothing wrong with it. Elisa had fallen in love with him. The next day, at work, Zelda noticed that Eliza was happier than usual, and when Eliza explained the whole story, Zelda was shocked. That morning, Muriel Covey and the security guard came to Robert's house. Robert noticed they were armed. Sitting down, Covey asked Robert, what did you do with the creature's body after killing it? Robert lied, saying he had studied and studied the creature's body. Robert had taken a knife for self-defense, but he didn't need it. Covey, believing his words to be true, quietly left. That evening, after dinner with his family, Strickland got into his car and was devastated to find his fingers still failing, and they clearly looked dead. They were no longer connected to his body. Meanwhile, Eliza was at home with her new boyfriend. She considered filling the entire bathroom with water to give the creature more space. But the water caused a leak in the theater downstairs. When the owner learned of this, he started banging on Elisa's door. Meanwhile, Gil was trying to keep the landlord away. Gil said, I'll take care of everything, sir. I'll scold this girl thoroughly on your behalf. Is she crazy? When Gil went inside Elisa's house, he saw Eliza and the creature locked in the bathroom. As soon as he opened the bathroom door, water gushed throughout the house. Gil saw Elisa hugging the creature. When the rainy season arrived, Eliza decided to send him away as soon as possible. But as the days passed, the creature's condition worsened. He grew weaker, and Eliza began to worry. Panicked at the loss of the country's most precious creature, the general came to Strickland again to tell him that if he didn't find the creature within the next 36 hours, he wouldn't have to report for work. When the 10th arrived, Eliza began to grieve the loss of her love. Elisa dreamed of dancing with the creature in public. She dreamed of a world where she wouldn't have to hide her love. But she knew this dream would never come true. That night, Strickland was keeping watch outside Robert's house. He strongly suspected Robert had some role in the creature's escape. Seeing Robert leave the house, Strickland followed him. Muriel Cowie's security guard shot Robert in the act. Strickland then shot the bodyguard at the same time. He then tortured the wounded Robert and began demanding the creature's whereabouts. After Strickland's intense torture, Robert confessed that she was a cleaning lady and had stolen the creature. Hearing this, Strickland went to Zelda's house, who was cooking dinner for her husband. Seeing his boss, Zelda became frightened. Strickland began threatening Zelda to ask for the creature's whereabouts. While asking Zelda for the address, Strickland injured his finger and screamed loudly, which frightened Zelda even more. Seeing his wife's fright, Zelda's husband revealed that he had heard Zelda talking to Eliza on the phone, discussing the creature. Strickland thanked Zelda's husband for the information and left for Elisa's house. As soon as he left, Zelda became angry with her husband and called Eliza. As soon as Eliza learned about everything, she left with the creature. Strickland forcibly entered Elisa's house. He searched the entire house, but found nothing. However, Strickland read the note Eliza had written on the calendar and understood where she had gone with the creature. As soon as Eliza said goodbye to the creature, Strickland arrived and shot the creature. He also shot Eliza. Gil struck Strickland with a stick, knocking him unconscious. Gil immediately ran to Eliza. Just then, the stripes on the creature's body began to glow again, and the bullet wound healed. In a rage, the creature approached Strickland and slit his throat with its claws. Just then, Zelda, worried about Eliza, arrived with the police. Gil asked the creature to take Elisa's body with him, and the creature jumped into the water with Eliza. The creature saw marks on Elisa's neck, and as soon as it kissed Eliza, it used its powers to transform these marks into gills. This meant Eliza could now breathe underwater. In the next moment, Eliza woke up. She, too, could breathe underwater. Elisa's life was saved, and now she could breathe underwater. Thus, two lovers were united forever. A love that perhaps humans cannot understand, but for these two, it was everything. If you liked the video, please like it. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.